class. So.
Ooh. Did you play basketball?
I did.
Wow. What position?
Everything. Point guard.
What, point guard?
No, I was the point guard, but I played everything. So is this live on video and audio?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh,
Our
so
cameras
they can
are
actually
like-
see me with the basketball.
They can.
They will.
Just don't spill anything.
Wow, it's organic. That's awesome.
I'm just saying, if you make it in the basket, it'd be really cool for everyone to see. No pressure.
There's no camera going there.
No.
Nah, I don't know.
I might break something too. I love it.
Ooh, look at me talking.
Okay, we're about to start.
There is a it's gonna be annoying to look at.
That's what we told you not to.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You're tuned in to the Nest Radio Station podcast, your source for engaging conversations about our community led by students. I'm your host, Sarah Mean, and today we have a special topic to delve into, community support. Now, as we all know, the month of December is the month of giving back. Our community is fortunate to have various organizations and individuals whose mission is to give back to our community and see our community thrive. Today, we have the privilege of sitting down with the Chief Executive Officer for LAHC, Mr. Wasim Mahfouz, Hype Athletics founder, Mr. Ali Sayed, and the Development Director for Access, Mrs. Mian Solah, to discuss the important work each organization does for our community. All, thank you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Of course. It's great to have you all here, and let's dive right in. To start, could you all give our listeners a background of yourself as well as your involvement in our community that got you to where you are today? Mr. Wasim Mahfouz, we can start with you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me and for the opportunity to be here today.
Thank you for coming.
My name is Wasim Mahfouz, and I am a proud immigrant. I immigrated to the United States 22 years ago, and before that, I came from Lebanon, and my community involvement started when I was very young. I believe this is something that has been instilled in me at a very young age. I was a volunteer paramedic with the Lebanese Red Cross, and when I immigrated to the USA, I wanted to join an organization that makes me feel home, far away from home, and be involved in the community. So I chose LAHC, and I joined as a volunteer, and then a few months later, I was offered a work position with the organization. It was a part-time position, and then from there, 2 years later, I became executive director, and I believe that the rest is history. I've been with the organization for 22 years. And today I'm the CEO. I work alongside a group of dedicated team members that come every day to work to do great things and serve the community.
Thank you for everything that you do for our community.
My name is Mian Solah. Thank you for having us and bringing us together here. I am the development director at Access. I've been with the organization since 2018, since I came from Beirut to Dearborn. I was actually born in the US, and at 3 months, my family moved back to Lebanon, but in my early years, it was between Lebanon and here. Most of my years in Lebanon. In 2006, actually, when there was an Israeli invasion on Lebanon, the airport was shut down, everything was shut down. So my family and I, because we were US citizens, we were evacuated through the US Embassy by ship from Beirut to Cyprus, and then from Cyprus to Dearborn, because most of our family was here. So we left our schools, we left our homes, we left our work. So I really didn't know how long I was staying here, my family and I. So I wanted to make the best of my time here, whether it was a month or 2 or 3. So I wanted to volunteer at a place to get to know my community better. So my mom actually told me that people say that Access helps people get jobs and volunteer opportunities. So I went to our Schaefer office right here in Dearborn, trying to look for a volunteer opportunity somewhere in Dearborn Heights area. And I use our lab room right now, which is still here. You know, you can go use the computer and see the volunteer opportunities there. And I found a few of them, and one of them was a volunteer opportunity at Access itself. So I applied, and that was in 2006, working with our current president and CEO. Her name is Maha Frey. She was in the accounting department running the capital campaign for the Arab American National Museum that was recently established. So I worked with her for a few months, but it was a very eye-opening because I've always wanted to become a journalist, politics. You know, I never imagined myself in nonprofit, whether it was volunteer or working. That was new to me, but it was an eye-opener that I wasn't really working with clients themselves. Like I wasn't doing the social services part or the health part that my colleagues were doing. I was doing the fundraising and back end part, but I was seeing how this work was making things possible. And it was really beautiful. A few months later, I went back to Lebanon. I finished my journalism degree and I worked for 12 years at Al Jadid TV and broadcast. News, yeah, so I'm,
Your experience.
yeah,
with this.
I'm part of you.
Like her home.
They probably listened to you multiple times in my house.
And then in 2018, when my family and I decided to come back to the US, the first thing I did, I remember I was still in Lebanon, but I wanted to make sure that I looked for work as I was making the transition. I went on the Access website because I kept my relationship, you know, I would see the new programs they had and everything. And I was looking for a job in the communication department because that's where I thought I really fit. And then under the communication, there was development officer, right? CD. And the position is what Maha was doing as I was volunteering with her. And I loved it. I applied and the rest is history. I am here today after 6 years, working with a beautiful, beautiful group of people and a beautiful community that I wouldn't trade for the world, actually.
And we actually had the privilege of having Meha on
Yes.
one of these podcasts. It's actually our first podcast, so we're really honored to have you here too.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Wonderful. So I guess I'm up. First, let me thank Star International and the Nest crew. Everything that I do and everything that I think I can speak on your behalf as well. Everything we do is for you, for the kids of our community, the future leaders that we're praying lead us and make the right decisions for our families as well. I'm sitting here in front of two great leaders in our community. I don't know if you knew this, but I was a LAHC Dearborn Star soccer player as a kid. You know, that was what kept me out of trouble, I would say, you know. And being born in the South End, Access played a huge role in all of our lives as immigrants. I was born in Dearborn, but my family immigrated from Lebanon, the south of Lebanon. And like any other immigrant family, they struggled to provide, struggled to work. And it's something that we're all proud of because it made us who we are today. You know, today I serve as the founder and CEO of HES Athletics. It's a title. I absolutely love what I do, and that is focused on strengthening the infrastructure of our families and our youth and our community by way of all the sports programs, education programs, social services, mental health, behavioral health, substance abuse, all the health and fitness programs that we offer. And it's been a blessing, primarily because I do what I love to do. I don't regard it as a job. HES today employs over 200 individuals between our Wayne location, Dearborn Heights, and Belle Isle. And we host well over 250 to 300 programs, depending on the type of programs annually. And like LAHC and Access, we don't walk around with signs telling everyone what it is we do. We don't do it for profit. We do it for our profit is the number of people served and the outcome of the people that we serve. So I thank God every day for this opportunity. Today, HES is 23 years old, come April of 24, and started off at a park as an idea, to have a 3-on-3 basketball tournament for me and my boys, and it truly blossomed from a seed into a very large, fruitful tree that has fed the community and provided services for Arab, non-Arab, from all over the region. And it's something to be extremely proud of. And it wasn't something that I can say I've taken all the credit for. HES is an organization, and I say it repeatedly, that it's for all of our families, all the businesses that have supported us, all the community leaders that stuck up for us, and provided us with opportunities. It's for all of us to celebrate. And I can say the same probably for Access and the LAHC. I'm proud when LAHC does well, and I'm proud when Access does well. We are one organization, if you look at it, because we're doing the same thing, you know, alhamdulillah. So that's my introduction. I hope that was good enough.
It's a really impressive journey from all of you. Thank you for sharing. Can you please give us and our listeners an overview for your organizations and their role in our community? Mr. Adil Sayed, we can start off with you.
An overview and the role, correct? Yep. So Pipe Athletics focuses on two major components. The first component being athletics and fitness for youth and adults. Those include all the sports camps, leagues, and tournaments. We also host a variety of over 100 fitness classes a month, and we have access to fitness programs and fitness activities for youth and adults. Our second component focused on social services includes tutoring, mentoring, counseling, substance abuse prevention, career development, health education, vocational training, life skills. I guess I can make the announcement because we're just a month or two away, but we're opening up a mental health and behavioral health office in the city of
Heard it first on the net. Heard it on the net.
Heard it on the net first. There you go. So that's basically who we are, what we do, and why. And the second question was the role, correct? The role in our community is simply to provide services, to provide support by way of all the programs and services we offer for youth and adults, and to be the legs that our future generation can stand on, lean on, and use whenever needed.
Access is a 52-year-old organization that started here in the south end of Dearborn, like Adi said, to assist the Arab community that was coming from the Middle East and North Africa to adapt to life here in the USA. And it was a volunteer-run organization, supporting just people in their basic needs, you know, whether they needed a paper to translate it because they were having language barriers, or they needed to apply to health insurance, or put their kids in school, or learn how to get a driver's license. Eventually became an organization that services everybody in Southeast Michigan, diverse clients. We have over 120 programs, 10 locations in 5 different cities. We have about over 520 staff that speak 26 different languages because of the communities that we serve. So regionally, we work regionally and nationally. Our regional work, we work with individuals, families, and communities, assist them improve their lives and empower them in a holistic approach. You know, we do social services, emergency services, employment, training, education, youth, health. So it's a holistic approach, because if a family or an individual comes to our doors and is in need of assistance, let's say to pay 1 month rent, because we assess them and we see that they qualify, you don't want to just pay the landlord that 1 month. You want to make sure, you want to fix the problem, right? So why are you having this problem? Because I don't work. Why don't you work? Because I have a language barrier. I'm a new immigrant. So through our different departments, we put them through, education classes, English classes. Then we help them through our workforce development, get a job. Then we do the whole thing to make sure the whole family is on its feet. That's kind of regionally, right? Aside from the regional work that we do, Access is the mother organization of 4 national institutions that work on a national level, right? And the national institutions are more targeted toward the Arab American community, empowering and strengthening the Arab American community. Our regional is for everybody. The national is more towards the Arab American community, and this is through the arts, philanthropy, advocacy and civic engagement, and research. Through our 4 national institutions, and I'm just going to briefly run through them. The first is the Arab American National Museum, which is the only museum that tells the Arab American story, right? We document, we preserve, and we tell our own story. It's here in Dearborn, Michigan, but our programming is nationwide. We take our exhibits to other museums nationwide so people can see our stories. We have programming all over. The second institution is called the Center for Arab American Philanthropy, which is the only Arab American community foundation in the nation. This is an institution that shows the impact of Arab American giving, why it's important to give together. Giving is not only money-wise, volunteering, our time, our efforts everywhere. So this institution gives Arab Americans nationwide all the tools and resources that they need, whether how to open a scholarship fund, how to give to other funds, how to give nationally, internationally, to make sure that they are as strategic as possible in their giving. Our third national institution is called the National Network for Arab American Community. This is a network of independent 32 Arab American nonprofit organizations nationwide in 12 states that work together. They're not access. Each one has its own mission. But instead of me working alone and you working alone, we're working together on issues that we're already working on. Capacity building of each other, advocacy, civic engagement, and all of that. And our last, most recent institution has to do with the research. It's called the Center for Arab Narratives. And this is a center that facilitates research done about Arab Americans or by Arab Americans, and also shares this research, anything that's impacting the Arab American community. And one last thing I just want to mention also, this is something like regional. We are also opening, and we have launched to open soon, inshallah, a comprehensive substance use disorder treatment center. That will be here in Dearborn, bordering Detroit, and it will be culturally and linguistically sensitive to our community, serving everybody, but specifically culturally and linguistically sensitive to our community. It will have a crisis stabilization unit. It will have inpatient detox. It will have a short-term residential for those that require further treatment, and it will have all of the regional services that I just mentioned Access has outside: employment, social services, health, legal, all of this. It will have that part specifically for the clients of this institution only. So, inshallah soon.
Very impressive.
Great work.
That's awesome. And I think one thing you will notice today is like the common denominator is community service, investing in our youth and our families, and make a difference. And this is what brings us together, not just as a community, but also as community organizations. And LEHC, similar to HYPE and Access, we are a 40-year-old nonprofit organization. That was founded in 1982 as Lebanese American Heritage Club, and the goal was to attract youth to soccer, and this is what Ali referenced in the beginning, and celebrate our Lebanese ancestral heritage and the great way of living here in the United States as proud Americans. But later on, with the growth of the community, LEHC expanded its programs and services. And we don't serve only people of Lebanese descent or Arab descent. Our programs and services are made available to everybody, regardless of race, religion, ethnic background, country of origin, or sexual orientation. And that's why it was extremely important 10 years ago to rebrand the organization and change the name legally from Lebanese American Heritage Club to Leaders Advancing and Helping Communities. We kept the acronym LEHC because we want a name that is inclusive and inviting, for everybody that believes they require a certain type of service to feel welcome and supported. Today, LEHC serves nearly 80,000 income-eligible individuals annually through a myriad of programs focused on education, youth development. We run one of the largest scholarship assistance programs in the area at a nonprofit scale. Every year, we award around $100,000 in academic scholarships for high school seniors. So whoever is listening, the application.
Where's that at?
The application will open up in January of every year. So make sure to mark the date down. And we also have a youth Leadership Bridge to College program, which empowers youth to choose a career. We provide resume building, workforce development. We also have a substance use prevention program, and we collaborate with HES and Access. As a matter of fact, one thing we're big on is we do not duplicate services. We complement each other as community organizations. And people, sometimes ask, well, HYPE has a substance use prevention program and Access has a substance use prevention program. So are we duplicating services here? And the answer is simply no, because there's a huge need out there in the community. And LEHC alone cannot do the work. And I, believe that Ali and Mayan share the same sentiment with me, that Access alone cannot do the work and HYPE alone cannot do the work, because there is a huge epidemic out there and it's taken the lives of our youth, right? You hear of overdose and you hear of mental health, and the more the merrier. And that's why we come together to the table and we work, we collaborate, that we're not duplicating services. We're kind of sharing the spinal line. We say, like, you guys take this group of youth and you work with, and we take this group of youth and we work with, and this is how we're able to make a difference in the community. We also have a mental health program focused on recreational therapy, and this is a wonderful initiative that we launched 2 years ago in the 3 school districts, and we're expanding now. And what this program does, it works with youth who are facing anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts, food disorder, and it's a wonderful program that has impacted many lives thus far. We also have a program that works with children on the spectrum and with developmental disabilities. It teaches them life skills and how to work in a group setting. We have a social services umbrella as well. During COVID, LEHC and Access came together. Both organizations were awarded a $500,000 grant each from the city of Dearborn in particular to provide families whose household income has been impacted by COVID-19 to pay for rent, mortgage, and we work very closely with Access's social services department to allocate this funding to families in need, and we serve hundreds of families collectively. Yeah, this is what we do.
That's like an understatement. Wow.
Hearing all this great work you guys are doing, I feel so reassured to be a part of this community that's helping us. Like, all your organizations are supporting us and building this up. I know Mr. Hadi Sayed brought it up, community support. So to help us understand the idea further, can each of you describe what you think are the most important factors that a community needs to thrive and be able to grow and be healthy?
Let me start.
Oh, Ms. Mainzibah, we can start with you.
So a thriving community is really a community that meets the needs of its members: safety, food, shelter, better education, health, well-being. Also making sure that we build on the trust and the common values that we have. And really, for me, making sure that our youth are empowered, making sure that we, reach out and attract diverse educated people, right? And also retain these people around us and make sure that they are okay, they have everything that they need, that's really like a big deal to us. And for us as an organization, and for all of us as organizations, really, we're making sure that these people who don't have the access or the programs that they should feel safe, they should have a home, they should have them, right? That's the first part. The other part is how to empower them after they do, because they have healthy bodies, healthy minds. They can be part of this community in whatever way they possibly can. So it's really mostly affecting our youth, empowering our youth, making sure we educate our people and that we are strategic as a community. By the way, we're a beautiful community. We're philanthropic. We're educated. We know what we want to do. the more strategic we are in building organizations, building institutions, depending on institutions and not individuals, the more we will be the best thriving community ever.
Exactly.
Thank you. If you're ready.
Go ahead. To me, what to echo what Mayan said, the essential or key points for a thriving community is to be able to provide this community the basic necessities and basic needs, which is food, shelter, employment, education, right? These are like basic human rights. And it breaks my heart sometimes when I see our government, and I don't want to delve into politics because I understand there are some restrictions, big restrictions here, but we invest billions of dollars to support wars, right? But we do not invest millions of dollars to combat homelessness or mental illnesses or substance use, right? So a thriving community is a community that is afforded the opportunities, the basic necessities of education, food, shelter, a community that embraces diversity, where everybody feels welcome, regardless of your religion, regardless of your accent, regardless of your skin color, regardless of what religion you practice, right? And as community organizations that are deeply rooted in the community, our number one role is to listen to what the community needs, to do a community assessment to see, what is it that, the services that this particular community lacks, and how are we able to come together to fill in that void.
Great answer. I don't even need to say anything because they knocked it.
We
But to
want to
add,
hear your voice.
That's
Yeah.
called plagiarism. So
she's a psychic, just so you know. She literally took every word out of my mind. I don't know how she did it. It was amazing. Amazing. No, but honestly, you two did really nail it. It's exactly what our community needs in order to thrive.
I mean, we're all in this together.
Of
We're all
course,
facing the same thing.
We look at the absolute needs, right? The shelter, the food, the health, the medicine, medical, infrastructure, education. These are like pillars. Individually, as a community, right? As we look at ourselves in the mirror, there's certain aspects or values that we all need to strengthen individually in order for the community to thrive. And I practice these values. I try to on a daily basis, and I know I've taught hundreds of kids this same thing as well. But a community, in order for the community to thrive, we have to have a value of honesty, right? We have to have a value of respect for one another, respecting ourselves and respecting others. We have to have the value of empowerment. Not everything is for me. What can I do to better you? Bettering you betters me. That's the mentality we want to have. And I would say most importantly, integrity. Having that self-respect, the ihtiram, if you want to use the correct word in Arabic, so that when people look at you, they're proud, and when you look at people, you're proud. As we all are looking at you, young students, we're proud with that. So I echo obviously what you both mentioned, because it's absolutely accurate. There's an importance for any type of community to have these valuable, tangible assets, but the intangible assets as well are something that we need to really focus on, so that we better ourselves, and then in tech will follow and better the community, inshallah.
Inshallah. Well, those were all great points, and it's safe to say that our community would not be the same without all of your organization's contributions. At this time, we're going to take a short commercial break. And sticking with the theme of community support, here's Banan Wala Ajo, Banansi Ajram.
ولا جو ولا جو.
HES Academies have been serving the Detroit metro area for over 23 years, promoting academic excellence, leadership, and cultural diversity, ranking as some of the top schools in the state of Michigan. Our pre-K through 12th grade students enjoy tuition-free, state-accredited education by STEM certified and highly qualified staff with no geographical restrictions, and with advanced placement, college dual enrollment, scholarship, and Arabic language programs. Nor International Academy in Sterling Heights at niapsa.org, Star International Academy in Dearborn Heights and in Canton at starpsa.org, Universal Academy in Detroit at universalps.
Okay, welcome back to the Nest radio station. I'm your host, Sarah Mean. Honorable community leaders, thank you all for sharing your thoughts. Aya, the floor is all yours.
Thank you, Sarah. Your organizations play an important role in shaping younger generation. Based on the programs each of your organization is responsible for, can you share with us your goal you have for the youth in our community and how youth and students can be more involved in giving back to their community? Mr. Wissam Mahfouz, we can start with you.
Absolutely. So education and youth empowerment has been a jewel in our crown since our inception. As I mentioned, LEHC started as a summer club 40 years ago to attract youth. And today, I believe 80% of the programs that we offer at LEHC are geared towards youth. I mentioned our scholarship program, which we've invested over $2 million in academic scholarships to support youth and empower them seek higher education the past 40 years. We have our Youth Leadership Bridge to College program, which attracts also youth such as yourselves. We teach them life skills, diversity education, college preparation, resume building, community service. Our substance use prevention program is geared towards youth. Our behavioral health program is geared towards youth. Our healthy living program, which also empowers youth to maintain a healthy lifestyle. We teach the nutrition and physical fitness education, and then we send them to Hive to get a gym membership. So see how it works.
Partnerships.
Partnerships. So, and I guess the like the number one thing is how you pay it back, right, and how you pay it forward. Many of our scholarship donors now were former scholarship recipients, and they became doctors, engineers, lawyers, teachers, entrepreneurs, and now they wanted to pay it forward, and they come to LEHC and they invest in our scholarship program so that they can empower other youth to seek higher education. In terms of like youth and their involvement in the community is for them to do what you guys are exactly doing right now. And what you're doing right now is also, thinking outside the box. This is very creative, like, establishing this radio show and being a voice for the youth and, bring educational programs and resources and connect youth to important resources out there in the community. This is heartwarming. My message to the youth is always, be involved, volunteer. Like Ali said, we don't do this for me. We do it for our community because we're stronger together. One hand alone cannot clap. We are community organizations, but if we don't have the backbone of our organizations, which is the youth, that we do everything in our power to serve and to support, we can't do our work.
And really, we can't have all this without you guys. Your organizations are incredible, literally incredible.
You guys, wallah, mashallah, I echo what he's saying about not just having a voice for you guys, but this is the first time since I came from Lebanon 6 years ago that I sit with you and Ali at the same table. And this is beautiful within itself. We're learning more. You're bringing us together. So thank you. For us as an organization, we are also big on empowering the youth and making sure that all our programming, all the youth, the underserved youth specifically that we serve, have access and have the programs that others have, right? Whether it's sports and recreation, whether it's financial literacy, whether it's the more than 16 scholarships that we have, everything. But one of the major goals for us as an organization in the next 5 years is specifically building on the leadership of Arab American youth. And this is to make sure that our youth understand and are part of everything that's happening and impacting our community. And I'll just talk about one or two of the programs we have towards this, which is we have a youth advisory council that has a lot of say in the programming and the activities that we do towards the youth. We have a program called the Teen Grant Making Initiative, TGI. And this is, and I know some students from STAR were part of this. This is for high school students. It's the only actually program in the nation that is just dedicated to Arab American philanthropy, youth related, right? So the youth for over 9 months, they come together, meet every month with our mentorship. They do their own assessment of the community. They go out and see what the need is. They come back and say, we want to fundraise for A, B, and C, because that's what the need is. They go and fundraise. We train them, right? We educate them. They go get the fundraising. And with every single dollar that they raise, they make the decision where to grant this to. So they do the whole process of philanthropy. That's just one. Another program that I just want to briefly mention is the Arab American Leadership Program. This is a program for Arab Americans, young Arab Americans who are interested to do summer internships in state or federal government agencies. So we provide them that chance, make it easy for them to do these summer internships in Washington. We help with the financial part of it and with mentoring them. So as Wasim said, you take care of your youth, you're taking care of your community. Allah yahmikum.
Yes, thank you.
These are old.
No, you want to go to the next one, or you would?
No, you can go, sorry.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the question is always asked. What does the future need? What does our youth? What do they need? We brainstorm with our boards and our youth boards and our parent boards and our coaches and our players and so on. And the answer is simple. We need to develop environments that are positive, that allow for you, the youth, to engage in social activities. Community and civic engagement was mentioned. Even politically engage in campaigns and expressing your voice and your opinions on life that is going to surely affect you and your families. There's one component that I believe is always left out, maybe for fear of isolation, for fear of targeting, but we like to express the importance of spiritual identity, right? Who you are and what you believe in is a major component of life, and it's something that we need to hold on to tight and believe in what we believe in, because it allows you, the future, to walk down a narrow path that has assured success over and over and over again. So when we look at today's media influence and music influence and Hollywood influence and political influence and governmental influence and all these influences that are targeted on you, right? The youth, you're the target. You're who they're going after. Every time a rapper or a musician plays a song, they're not trying to target us three. They can care less about us. It's you. The influence is on you. How do you protect yourself from these negative influences? Controlling the environment. It's not just a physical place that you can go to escape. You can escape these negative exposures that will affect your life if influenced by them, if you're spiritually weak. And I think I believe as a community, It's one of the most valuable assets we have is our spirituality. We hold true to it. We love it. And it's exercised as a whole community and individually, which is what's so beautiful for our community itself. You know, individually, you can spiritually strengthen yourself to become the best person, the best image of yourself that you could possibly become. So in addition to all the public service and the volunteerism and the the time that you put in to do better or to serve this world, again, I go back to the self, focus on yourself by controlling the environment that you put yourself in and focusing on the path that you want to go down. I wish I had someone tell me that as a kid.
Agreed.
And you've all mentioned the wide range of social services and the target of these, which is youth, that all your organizations have. So can you share with us in what ways SIA students and other students from other schools that your community, that your organization serves, how can we help contribute to allow your organizations to reach these goals?
I think you can, which you guys are already doing, and a lot of the youth in this community take part in whatever is happening in this community, all the events that these organizations are doing, and you're even doing something that we're not even doing yet, right? So leading these, taking part in these, volunteering in these service days, making sure that you reach out to us or we reach out to you to see what scholarships are available at our organizations, everything. You can be the voice of these organizations in terms of empowering other youth, by the way, because they're going to hear you more than they hear us.
Be involved. You guys are already doing a great job. Volunteer. You guys are the foundation. You're the future of this nation. Among you are the next judges, congresspeople, senators, maybe the president of the United States. Be proud of who you are. Be proud of your heritage. But you guys are Americans living in America, not Arabs living in America. So don't let anyone make you feel less Americans than any others. And be a part of the decision-making process. Be on the table, be active. Keep doing the great work that you're doing, and God bless you.
He's trying to distract me with the ball. I swear I have a shoulder injury and I just gotta do this sometimes.
And the ball is just there for extra
You guys said it was okay to hold the ball. That's what I was gonna do, just put him on the.
Not the thoughts that I was saying.
It's a very important question. What can you do, or what can we do to help you obtain the goals that you guys have? And it's a lot of the same echoing, right? We're on the same page. Commit your time to do better for others than you would do for yourself. Not all the time, but commit time to do better for others than you would do for yourself sometimes. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
A little confusing, but yeah.
It's confusing, but it's not. It's a very standard statement. Meaning, don't be selfish. Not everything is about you. Not everything is about what you need and what you want. There's other people that are in need, much greater need than you. But as a father of 4 daughters, I would say, thank you. I would say, setting the example is what we need. See, the perception of certain aspects of the community is that the next generation isn't following the path, if you want to call it the path. The perception is that we're at times, because of the increase in mental health cases and substance abuse cases and all the work that we see, right? We see this, it's right in front of us. The perception is that we're losing grip, right? But in reality, when I was in high school, we never had one kid go to Harvard, right? Now we have multiple. We never had one kid to go to any Ivy League school. Now we have multiple. There wasn't an influx of dental student, Arab American or Muslim American dental students, optometrists, doctors, surgeons. Now we do. So we can't let the few naysayers ruin our reputation and make it harder for you to see what your future, I'm just pointing at you as an example, but making it seem like your future is harder to obtain and to set up than it really is. It's actually much easier today, much easier than what we had, I promise. So setting the example and recognizing what's been provided and the hard work that our generation, my generation, is doing to make your life so much more easier to succeed, easier to start a family, easier to buy a home, easier to get a job, easier to receive any type of service that these wonderful organizations serve, right? But I repeat this, and I've been saying this for so long. I mean, we live in a partner or parish society, right? Like, it's either we do it together or we're all going to fail. That's just the reality. And a lot of times we catch ourselves doing the same thing, all of us. If our resources were put together, and we've been saying this about the mosques, we've been saying about the schools, we've been saying this about a lot of different reasons, a lot of different things, excuse me. Our resources are all we have, right? And what we're preaching to the next generation is utilize these resources, combine your efforts, succeed in life, right? For the next generation, learn how to partner before you perish, collaborate, work with others, be open-minded, right? And that's really it. I mean, I don't have the key to life. Everyone lives their own life, right?
You don't have to. All we have to know, and which makes things very easier, I think, for us, Hala, is that this generation, these young people are daring dreamers, and مش بس dreamers, they have passion and they believe, like you just said, like it's the passion and the belief, and you guys definitely have it. This generation has it, yeah.
They do, more so than we did, honestly, because we know what struggles we went through, and we're going to make sure that your son doesn't go through it, and your kids, I don't know if you have kids, but go through it, and likewise.
Now or future kids.
Yeah, like we know what we went through. We're going to make sure that our kids and you and others aren't going to go through those same struggles. There's no need. That's what we did it for them. Just like our parents came and worked 3 jobs, just to give us money for lunch, or to buy us a pair of shoes. That's what we went through. But we had to work young. We had to get our own clothes. We had to get our own shoes. We had to buy our own junk food from the party store if we wanted it. Sometimes we'd have to get 4 or 5 guys from the neighborhood to pitch in and make up our $2 or $3 to get that 1-2 liter of pop and a big bag of chips and split it.
You learned.
But we loved it. Those are the best memories of our childhood.
Because you're getting together as a
Right.
community.
Because we're getting together as a community. So, inshallah, I'm honored and thankful and grateful for all of your work. Thank you, Dr. Bazzi and Wasim, for inviting us. And thank you, Wasim and Mihan, for allowing me to be a part of this discussion with you. You guys both of your organizations are, I'd call it the mother of all organizations and the ammo of all organizations. Because the LAHC was like everybody's ammo back when we were kids, like ammo, let me play,
Don't ever dare call me Ammo.
No. I think I'm older than you anyways, man. You gotta call me ammo. But no, Allah Khalikum, thank you so much for this opportunity. It's wonderful.
Thank you. And thank you all for the insightful discussion. Before we wrap up today, do you have any final thoughts on our theme of community support and the importance of giving back to our community?
I just want to end with something very quick. One, thank you guys for having us, and thank you both, Amjad, so much. It's been a beautiful discussion with them. I'm looking forward to another one soon with your invitation, inshallah. It's just with everything that our organizations do, alhamdulillah, we can't do this without our community. We change lives, yes. We save lives, yes. We partner with so many organizations, yes. But we cannot do anything we cannot do anything as strong as we do it without our community. So the people in this community, alhamdulillah, are the ones that are helping us change lives. So thank you guys again.
If I have one final thing to say, it would be united we stand. We come together to serve the community, to provide programs and services, and this is not a right. This is a privilege, and we work hard day in and day out to earn this privilege of serving the community. We don't believe in titles. President, CEO, director. Titles come and go, and what the people come and go, and what really lasts for eternity is the legacy that you leave. And I wake up every day, and I swear to God, on my kids' life, the first thing that I say, please, God, make me of service to others today, because this is the purpose of why I wake up every day, to be a good role model for my children, for my son who's 18 years old. He looks up to me, and to be able to touch at least one life. If I'm able to touch one life every day, I think I've accomplished my purpose in life. And again, thank you so much for the opportunity to be joined by these great leaders, Ali and Mayan, and I definitely look forward to our discussion and our future collaborations.
So to conclude, I kind of already did this, so I'll just give another one, a little bit different.
Even better.
Yeah, for sure, it's going to be way better. So, we wake up every morning, and I feel, I'll speak for myself, I feel like there's just something missing, right? Every morning I'm missing something. It started really October 8th, just be real with it, I wake up every morning and I feel like life in this world isn't spinning in the direction it's supposed to be spinning. Ease, mental ease, physical ease, spiritual ease isn't being provided. We pray, but we feel like it's not enough. We're not making the supplication. It's not working, right? Because so many young kids and so many young families are dying. So I'm going to conclude by thanking you all, but I'm going to also conclude by saying, as a member of this community and a member of the Arab community and the Muslim community, that I'm demanding that there's an immediate ceasefire in Palestine of this genocide that's taken place, and that immediately retribution and even punishment to those that committed these crimes take place, so that my heart can be at ease when I'm laid to rest and my kids are living in this life.
Well, that wraps up today's episode on the Nest Radio Podcast. Thank you all for tuning in, and a big thank you to the community leaders for joining us today. Remember, you can always reach out to these amazing organizations to give back to your community this season. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe to our radio station, leave a review at siradio@startpsa.org, and share the station with your friends. We'll be back soon with another exciting podcast and more fascinating discussions, and of course, to bring you today's hit music and more. This is Sarah Mean signing off from the Nest Radio Station. Ma salama to you all.
Thank you.
Good job, guys.